Hello guys and girls, my name's Worcester, and you're watching my speedrun of Pokemon Crystal in 3 hours and 24 minutes. After speedrunning the first gen games, I figured it was time for an upgrade, move off to Johto. Okay, so Johto has a lot of new features, as you all should know, such as being able to choose the girl in Crystal, and it having day and night, as you're seeing right here. So we set the time for quite specifically at 3 hours and around 45 minutes. It can be like between 43 and 47. This is because we want it to be night for the first 15 or so minutes of the run, and then we need it to switch to day. So once again, I name myself I because I do that all the time now. Needs to be one character obviously for the frames, and I just make it I because that's the coolest name you can do in one character by far. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making this run because this is actually my favorite Pokemon game, and so I obviously enjoyed it quite a bit. Obviously, don't set daylight savings time to save a couple frames there. So coming up now is obviously the main reset point of the run, when we pick up our starter. Now, we choose Totodile because Totodile's early game is by far faster than the other starters, because the first move it learns is Rage. And you're going to see a lot of that early game because it is devastatingly effective. If I were to choose Chikorita, I would get bodied throughout the whole run because it's awful for a speedrun. Cyndaquil does alright later on, but he will get devastated if you go straight to the Violet City gym as soon as you get there. He will just get destroyed. So we pick up Totodile. I name him I as well, and good sign, we see that Totodile is a male. If Totodile is a female, in Gen 2, his attack DV is actually either 0 or 1, because in this game, because they had to have backwards compatibility, a lot of the functionalities are just based on the DVs of stats. Okay, so I quickly check my stats here, rather than waiting until I level up, because it takes about 5 more minutes until I actually level up, and so I get about 3 times as many attempts in by checking them there, and it only costs me like 4 or so seconds. So, because we use game time, that's almost more than certainly not going to cost me any time at all, because it would have to cost me a full minute. Of course I get an encounter first go. It's incredible how often I got an encounter on that first tile of grass. It's ridiculous. But yeah, the stats there were attack was 12, defense was 11, special attack was 10, special defense was 11, and speed was 10. So the most important stat by far is actually special defense, which sounds a bit odd, but special goes on 1 DV, so high special defense means high special attack as well, pretty much. Again, that's because backwards compatibility. They couldn't just insert a new DV out of nowhere. So my special DV at this stage is 12 to 15. In case you don't know what a DV is, it's a random number between 0 and 15. The higher the stat is, pretty much. So 12 to 15 is good. My attack is between 5 and 14. My defense is shocking, it's between 0 and 5. And my speed is between 7 and 15. Now, attack being 12, it's not perfect. Perfect is 13. That's very rare. That's a 1 in 16 chance. But I don't actually need my attacks to be perfect. That won't get me any one-hit kills that I wouldn't otherwise get. Special is by far the key. That's my 4th encounter, up to Mr. Pokemon. Fucking hoot hoots. So, average up here is about 4, so get the potion in here. I have to get a lot of items early on because, one, because I don't go to a mart for a while, but second, because money management in this game is actually really tight because the big shop is at the third gym city in Goldenrod. So obviously you don't have that much money at that time, but you still need to buy all your X items there. So it makes it just a bit trickier to try and get everything out. So at this stage I'm more than happy with the run. Average encounters, good stats. Doing very well so far. At this point I'd like to mention that without Frame 4 this run would be impossible. Frame 4 is the master race of this game. Speedrunning this game in any other frame will net you a worse time no matter what. Okay, so we get the other berry, we're now loaded up. And now finally time for the rival fight. You hear a lot of people have mixed reviews about Silver as a rival. People either seem to really love him or really hate him. Unfortunately got hit by Growl here twice. You very rarely see Chikorita use Growl twice. That was really, really bad. Luckily enough though, I managed to get into critical, which negates all that crap. And then just for kicks, I get in another critical. So that ended up taking the average amount of turns because of those criticals. See those stats again. My attack was 14, which is now a DB of 10 to 14, so that's very good now. My defense was 13, that's like 3 to 5. Bad, but irrelevant. Now, my special attack and defense were both 12s. This means my special DV was either 14 or 15. Incredibly good. That's the main key for my stats, is having double 12s at level 6 there. I'm very, very happy with that. And my speed was 11. That's still 7 to 14. So I'm very, very happy with my stats now. Now, I named my rival question mark. Again, it needs to just be one character. Now, I had a vote in my Twitch chat at some point about whether to name him either you, like I do for pretty much all my other runs, or question mark. Now, the reason I made question mark an option was because he introduces himself in that first fight as question mark, question mark, question mark. And you hear a lot of people saying, oh, did anybody else name him question mark, question mark, question mark, because they thought that was his actual name. And so this is kind of a reference to that. I name him question mark. Pick up some free Pokeballs. That assistant is so nice. Gives you potion and Pokeballs. It's beautiful. This guy is pretty cool too. He offers to show you how to catch Pokemon. Offers. Perfect. Another reason why I love this game. Fortunately, a couple more encounters on this route. It was about average. Again, my encounters throughout here were like spot on average all the way through. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. fucking Hoot Hoots. God, I hate Hoot Hoots. But okay, coming up now is why we want the day to be in night. Because in Crystal version, on routes 30 and 31, which are the ones coming up right now, at night time you can find a Poliwag. Now it's a 20% chance to actually encounter one, which is not that bad at all. And if I get one here, it means I don't have to get one later. Now the advantages of getting one here, this guy, right in my ass, and straight into an encounter. Fuck yeah. That's a fucking Hoot Hoot, of course it's a fucking Hoot Hoot. But anyway. As a Poliwag can appear here, yeah, it's better to catch one here because, one, he has no moves, and two, it means I've already got one, so I don't have to worry about the run being screwed 2.5 hours in. Now, we need a Poliwag because we need something for the HMs, Whirlpool and Waterfall. There are other things you can get, but Poliwag is always the best. It's the only one you can get en route without going out of your way, which is right here on 30 and 31. And if you do have to go out of your way, it's then also still the best option on Route 44, which it's 100% encounter rate there. Well, it's 90%, and Poliwhirl is 10%, so you're always going to get something you need. But you can't weaken them because all your moves are too strong. So you kinda just have to chuck balls and hope for the best. You'd get Ultra Balls along the way, but then obviously it takes time to get Ultra Balls, because you can't buy any, you gotta get them on the map. Oh, so something I didn't mention before, my rival fight, I went berryless. Your starter starts with a berry in this game, which heals 10 health when equipped. And because I never went below half health, I didn't use it, which is actually really, really good, because it means I can save a berry, which in reality means I can save a potion, so there's much less chance of me dying, and having an extra potion saves me a lot of grief all the way up to like an hour into the run. Money's that tight, I just can't buy extra stuff. That's all the way until I go to shopping at Ecruteak City, but having that extra potion is really nice. So on 31, there's also a 20% chance of a Bellsprout, which I would catch if one showed up as well. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to weaken that, I would just have to chuck balls. But here we go. Here's our main girl, Poliwag. Throw down a scratch here. And so, at this stage, I'm about 55% chance of catching the Poliwag with a Pokeball. And the son of a bitch gets out. This is shocking, because now I'm below half health. Arsehole used up my berry. So awful. And then get in the second go. Okay, so low amount of encounters there, only 2, and one of them was Poliwag. Very, very nice 30 and 31. So now, unfortunately, I had to heal 3 health with that potion because my defense was so bad. If I had 1 better on defense, it's currently 14. If I had 15, I wouldn't have to use that potion. But this guy has an absolute monster of a Spearow, and you're about to see just how much of a monster it is. So if I had 15 defense, this Spearow would do 6 damage to me. But because I have 14 defense, it does 8. So you do the math. I equipped the berry, I was on 21 health. With the berry, that means I would have been on 31 health, and he would have killed me. So yeah, I had to heal. And yeah, this fight would be pretty much impossible without rage. This is where you see it in action now. He suddenly does 9. 1 health. Bloody oath. But yeah, yeah, you can clearly see Rage going in here. Your attack going up, despite the fact that you're not even using any stat modifiers, is an absolute monster. Now I equip the Bitterberry here, simply because I know I'm going to be in the item menu there, using a potion. So I may as well equip the Bitterberry while I'm there as well. Bitterberry heals Confusion. Nothing can confuse me for a while, but I don't need to have anything else attached until something can confuse me. Now, my speed was 13, if you were checking stats before. This Pidgey's speed is also 13, so we're currently on a speed tie. Winning that first speed tie was very important, because it meant I got the Rage build. Obviously, if I went second, my Rage wouldn't build because he'd hit me first. And then he wins that speed tie. That one did waste a bit of time, because I was going to kill him then anyway. But that's fine. I'm just happy I won the first one. If I didn't win the first one, that would have taken 4 turns. And then I managed to critical the other one, so more than happy with that fight. Okay, so now it's time for the first gym leader. I'm not worried about this fight at all at this stage. If I had bad speed, I would be kind of worried, because I know my defense is quite poor, and so this Pidgey could do 5 damage rather than 3. He very rarely does 4. He either seems to do 5 or 3, but my defense managed to pull up enough, so he goes to 3. I'm at 14 speed, so I'm 1 above him, so I'm always going to win the speed tie. But yeah, Rage will devastate him enough that not much of an issue at all. Now, for whatever reason, against Totodile, Pidgeotto will always use Gust. It's got Mud Slap, but it will never use it. Oh, the Pidgey has Mud Slap as well, now that I think about it. But they will never use it against Totodile. Obviously, if you come in here with Cyndaquil, they will start using Mud Slap. And that's another big reason why Cyndaquil is not very effective, especially early game. It kinda gets wrecked by this gym very bad. Like, Cyndaquil's defense is also worse than Totodile's, so you figure out how much that Spearow is gonna body Cyndaquil. I'll give you a hint by starting with a lot. And now, as you can see, the game's changed today, while I was beating up that gym. This is going to come in very important in just a couple minutes. But first we have to go to the Pokemon Center. Now, I don't strictly necessarily have to heal here, but it's faster to do it here than anywhere else, because I'm already in the Pokemon Center, and I have to be here to get the Togepi egg. Because I can't progress through the game without getting the Togepi egg. The Miracle Seed guy just keeps going. Some guy wants to see you. But anyway, yeah. So we get the egg for, what? 7 tiles. Now, the reason we deposit the egg is because it's quicker to do this than to watch the egg hatch. And if you keep it throughout the game, it will hatch. You go way more than the required amount of steps for that Togepi to come out. And that cutscene takes longer than just getting rid of it. Get a Paradise Cure Berry because it is one of the most important items throughout the game. I wish there were more Paralyzed Cure Berries. Yeah, okay, so now we're on Route 32. Now again, Bellsprout has a 20% chance of appearing here, and if one does appear, I want to catch it as well for cut. There's only one more thing I want to catch now, and it's a cut slave. We go through here to get the repel, because as soon as we catch a cut slave, we want to be repelling through Union Cave, so that we don't get like 5 more encounters in there. Easily worth a 1 encounter to get the repel. Okay, we got a hopper, so we're not going to get a bell sprout on Route 32, so now we have to switch to our backup strats, which is, we can't use the repel straight away in Union Cave. We're going to have to sit here and wait for a Sandshrew, which only appears at day. If it was night, Sandshrew has no chance of appearing. So again, it's 20%. And there we go. First encounter is Sandshrew. That works out very nicely. That's 3 of our party completed. There's only 1 more, and we don't have to catch him. He'll be coming up later. Okay, now we can use the repel and go through here. I nicknamed Sandshrew because it does so much HM work that it's quicker to get rid of all those frames. And Sandshrew's name is actually quite long, but Poliwag only uses stuff twice. Now this guy, his name's Russell. This is the first spinner in the game. Now, spinners are trainers that move randomly in their eyeline direction. There are trainers that will specifically go in circles. I'm not worried about those. I'm worried about these guys that will just spin absolutely randomly. They are terrible in this game. Some of them will switch 3 directions in the time you can move 1 tile. So obviously I wait for them to not be looking when I'm trying to pass them, but there's still a very much higher than you would expect chance that on that 1 tile they manage to spin around and manage to get me. Now, the guy I'm fighting right now isn't strictly necessary to fight. I'm fighting him because I need 288 experience extra than fighting all the necessary trainers after Bugsy. If I'd gotten caught by that spinner up there, Russell, I wouldn't fight this guy. But Russell has 3 Geodudes, and I don't have a water gun yet. He takes 9 turns to defeat, and that guy takes 5. So it's much, much quicker to fight Bill. And now as we exit Union Cave, we see the second spinner in the game. This guy's name is Anthony. Now, the worst thing about Anthony is if he gets you, he kills you. He has a level 11 Geodude, and you still don't have water gun. He will just wipe the floor with you. The only way you can beat him is by switching into Poliwag and doing some damage with Poliwag, but that obviously takes way too long. If I get hit by Anthony, I instantly reset. There are a total of 18 spinners in this game, and you have to pass them exactly on an average of twice. There is 36 tiles you have to pass spinners on that you can get caught. So going through the game without hitting any of them is pretty much impossible. In fact, going through them with hitting like... my average going through the game was probably hitting 8. Which sounds a lot higher than you would expect, but they are just devastating in this game, how much they spin. Now, you actually don't have enough money to buy a repel for this place, but the encounter rate is so low, I bank on never hitting one. What shows up but a Slowpoke before the first trainer? A Slowpoke, which is like 10% encounter rate as well. Just ridiculous. Here's another reason I love Johto so much. The music's so good. But yeah, back into some battles now. I'm actually really happy that Rattata used Tackle straight away. It's got Tail Whip, and if it used Tail Whip off the bat, his damages would be doing... His attacks would be doing about 8 damage now. So I'd be on about 13, and this Rattata could 2-hit me. And it's possible I don't 1-hit this Rattata as well. Only an issue because my defense is so low. And yeah, as you can see, I didn't 1-hit him. So if he had used Tail Whip right off the bat, I would have died in this fight. So that was actually quite lucky. Now I switched from using Rage to using Scratch on that last hit to avoid the text box as Rage is building. So if it's the very last Pokemon, I switch out from using Rage to avoid that text box. That's what we bought a Super Potion for. Gonna take a fair bit more damage. And a second encounter in Slowpoke World. I get 0 encounters in here probably 95% of the time. And I managed to get not 1 but 2 encounters in here. That was awful. Okay, now these are the battles where my special is finally going to start to come into play, because now we've finally learned Water Gun. So, without really good special, I don't even come close to 2-hitting these Zubats. Not even close. I came really close with good special though. Oh, that's awful. That's a damage range. So, I had the right amount of stats. Hopefully you know what I mean. I had the right stats to get a 2-hit there, but I just got really unlucky on the min-max damage. That my first hit was actually really low. The second one did half damage, but the first one did 1 less, so he managed to survive with 1 health. And the son of a bitch took my Bitter Berry. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things in the game that can confuse you, and the first one managed to take my one and only Bitter Berry. Not very cool at all. And the Ekans managed to poison me and take my first antidote. This isn't much of an issue. I'm generally alright on poison items, but just the extra damage just wasn't that nice. And it obviously takes up a bit of time as well. Now for this first Rattata, I actually used Scratch instead of Water Gun. This is only because Scratch has less letters in its name. So I'm just saving a couple frames by using Scratch there, because both 2-hit kill. Now that we've got an extra level, my special attack is 22. I have to get exceptionally unlucky on min-max here to not 2-hit these Zubats. And look at that first one. That didn't do enough. And he used Leech Life and got 1 health back. But now, as you can see, that one still managed to do it. So I only got unlucky on the first one. It's quite obvious to see there that the first Water Gun did much less than the second. And then my first one sucks again. And yeah, I got confused. I'm not that worried, because if I get through here, I'm fine. Which I managed to, which is very nice. If I'd gotten confused by that first Zubat, then I would have been worried, because then that's 3 hits I gotta get through, which is quite unlikely. Okay, now, technically speaking, this coughing could have killed me at 23 HP, but I've really still got to conserve my healing items, so I kinda have to tough this one out. The only way he can kill me is by poisoning me. Oh, well, he can get a lot of criticals, but if he used Smog and Poison to turn 1, I'm just dead, and that's all there is to it. But we're fine. Look at those Slowpoke faces. Aren't they adorable? It's just lovely. Okay, so now that Kurt's come to the quote-unquote rescue, he manages to actually give you a free heal in that space of 1 second where you walk to his house, which is very nice, as I was on very low health. Now, the order that these two send out Pokemon is based on which one you go to. If you fight the left one, she sends out Spinarak first. If you fight the right one, she sends out Ladybird first. Now, I fight the left one because my Bitterberry is gone, and so Ladybird knows Supersonic. So, if it came out first and confused me, I would have to get through both Spinarak and Ladybird confused. Unfortunately, I got hit by Scary Face, and so now I'm slower than Ladybird, so I have to sit through 2 turns of Ladybird anyway. This was pretty unlucky, because even if that Spinarak used String Shot, I would have been faster than Ladybird, because my speed is actually quite good. But he managed to dish out a Scary Face. Luckily enough, Ladybird just used Tackle. At least one of them played nice. Now, I have to fight one of 2 other trainers in this gym. The one on the left has a level 13 Paris, and this guy on the right has a Caterpie and a Weedle. Now, it's technically speaking, again, faster to fight the one on the left, but 1, it gives less experience, which means I wouldn't have enough that I need, and 2, that Paris is deadly. That Paris knows Stun Spore and Poison Powder, and it takes like 4 hits to kill with Scratch. Obviously you can't use Water Gun. And yeah, getting paralyzed at this stage is kinda disturbing, because the only thing I've got to heal paralysis is that paralyzed Cure Berry, and I really need that for later. I got pretty lucky on that fight as well. Caterpie's got String Shot, which can make you slower than the Weedle as well, so I'm happy that didn't come about. And here's the 3rd spinner in the game. Mr. or Mrs. Benny managed to get past that one as well. Not going to bother healing for Bugsy. I've got more than enough HP for this fight. Okay, so again, we have to rage this fight, because for his last Pokemon, the Scyther, we really need Rage to be built up, so we've got to use it even on this Metapod and Kakuna. So waiting for this Metapod to use Tackle, and unfortunately it dishes out a hard in turn 1. Okay, so we get Rage 3 off the Metapod. At this stage I'm pretty confident I've got the battle under my hand, so because with Rage 3 I should 2-hit the Scyther, and if I 2-hit the Scyther he only gets 2 hits on me, and he can't do any more than 20 damage. Unfortunately, Kakuna uses Harden rather than Poison Sting, so I don't get Rage 4, so I don't get it in the bag. I would have to get exceptionally unlucky on min-maxes to not 2-hit this Scyther though, because I know my attack is good. So he uses Quick Attack instead of Fury Cutter for whatever reason. He usually uses Fury Cutter, and now he uses Fury Cutter. Okay, 6 damage. Son of a bitch manages to live on 1 health, and then he switches back to Quick Attack. Now, I am more than confident that that Fury Cutter, if he used it again, was going to kill me, because the first one did 6, and it doubles, and I was on 11 health. I don't know why he switched Quick Attack. But yeah, if you were looking there, I had exactly 2 more experience than required to evolve after this fight. And it is exceptionally important that I evolve into Croconaw after that fight. Without this evolution, the next fight would be pretty much impossible. Yeah, I really managed to dodge a bullet on that Bugsy fight, but, I mean, in reality, he should have just died in 2 hits anyway. So, I was lucky after being unlucky, which, you know, you take, but I'm not as happy as you might think with that battle. Okay, now we have a super potion, but again, we're Now we have to conserve healing items, so I have to take the center here after this fight, because obviously 3 health is not enough. Okay, so now we're gonna equip that talked about Paralyzed Cure Berry, and we're gonna teach the move we just got from Bugsy, which is Fury Cutter. Now, the reason we needed to evolve is because Totodile cannot learn Fury Cutter, but Croconaw can. Why? I have no idea, but that's how it goes. And Fury Cutter is exceptionally important for this fight, because, as you know, your rival counterpicks you, and he's got a Bayleaf, and without Fury Cutter, that Bayleaf destroys you. But anyway, so we water gun down this Ghastly, and now the Paralyzed Cure Berry is quite important here because this Ghastly knows Lick, and if Lick paralyzes you, you're pretty much boned. Very happy that Hypnosis missed though, because Hypnosis sleep is awful in this game. So yeah, we're gonna Fury Cutter this Bayleaf. Reflect, that's nice because that doesn't detriment how many turns this fight takes at all. Razor Leaf didn't critical, also nice. And Bayleaf's down in 3. Now, Fury Cutter works differently than to what it says in this game. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens, because I honestly don't know. I have a couple theories. One theory that Nez Kamikaze actually came up with in my chat was the amount of damage that Fury Cutter does actually quadruples when you use it against a Pokemon that it's super effective against. So, after the first hit, because it's doubled power, it then doubles the power that's already doubled, and then adds on super effective again. And so it would do 4 times. The reason I was doing a lot of playtesting on this fight with Scratch, and Scratch has 40 power, and the game will tell you Fury Cutter's base power is 10. So 3 Fury Cutters in reality should have 20, 40, and 80 power, if the game's done correctly, which is 140 total. 3 Scratches has a total power of 120. Yet, 3 Scratches won't even do half the amount of damage to Bayleaf. Or, no, it might do about half. But it doesn't do enough. You need Fury Cutter. Now, I took that theory on board and just used it for explanations, but I was thinking about it. Remember how that Scyther did 6 damage with Fury Cutter? And then 10 with Quick Attack? Fury Cutter power is 10. It gets stabs, that's 15, but it did 6. Quick Attack's power is 40, and it did 10. Less than double Fury Cutter, when it's meant to be much, much more. Yeah, honestly I think Fury Cutter's power is just not 10. And it's like 18 or something? Whatever it is, it's not what the game tells you it is. It's definitely doing something else. But okay. While I was explaining that, I managed to save the Farfetch'd and get cut. I cut down that bush manually because I was already in the Pokemon menu. No, the Pokemon menu. I was already in the menu. So it's quicker to do it like that. The only time I do it in the whole game, because it's the only time where it's an option. Now, we picked up a Revive and an X attack. This is all just for money. That's the only reason we're picking our items in here. And now we're going to go pick up Headbutt. Now, the reason we pick up Headbutt is because it's one of the best moves in the game. It's deceptively good. 70 power this early is actually a huge amount. It's incredibly powerful. Not only that, Headbutt's secondary effect of flinching is exceptionally good in this game, because it actually stays true to the flinch rate. It actually is what it's supposed to be, unlike in Gen 1. Gen 1 flinches are incredibly rare, but in Gen 2 they're actually quite common. And obviously having a Pokemon flinch rather than getting an attack on you is much quicker. Yeah, we'll see a lot more of that much later on. Now in this route, my repels just wear off before I get to the last patch of grass here. So in that 2 patches of grass, if I encounter an Abra, which is 10%, I chuck a ball and just hope to catch it, which is like, I can't remember, it's like 13%. I never really looked into it. And I would take the center here and actually teleport back to it. Only teleport I would do in the game. But I would do it if it happened. Never happened in a run. It happened in a couple test runs, but never in an actual run. But okay, we pick up the bike, because obviously that's much faster for speedruns, so we do that as soon as possible. Teach Headbutt over Fury Cutter. Fury Cutter was only useful for that one battle, but it was absolutely necessary. But now it's quite obsolete, quite instantly. So we registered the bike there and then put it on. Again, if you're already in the item menu, it's quicker to actually put on the bike, rather than go out and select it. Okay, now Route 35 is spinner hell. Ivan got me right there. Now, Ivan, you have to pass on 6 tiles. He managed to get me on the first one, but if you want to get past him throughout the whole run, you actually have to go through this route, back again, and then through it again. And you've got to go past this guy on 2 tiles. I think about 80% of my runs I hit Ivan. It's ridiculous how bad Ivan is. But yeah, this is definitely my least favorite route of the whole game. Now, that was actually really unfortunate. I thought I was going to be faster than the Diglett, so I used Headbutt. Because he used Growl, I wasn't going to one-hit him. But then I managed to critical. Okay, so now we see a couple spinners up here. Now, the one on the left goes around in a circle. The one on the right is random. So I have to wait for the one on the left, but I still have to have the one on the right not looking at me. Very, very tricky to time. And the guy on the right, who can catch you because he's random, has 4 Pokemon. So that fight takes a very long time as well. His name is Erwin. I hate him. Now, this battle here isn't actually strictly necessary either. You can go through National Park to avoid this battle, but it's actually faster to fight the Venonat than to go through National Park. Because that National Park detour just takes so long. And I can just cut through here and skip straight to 34. Now this is a... oh, 36. Sorry. Now this is a Crystal exclusive where you actually have to talk to Floria up here before you can actually get the squirt bottle. And so I obviously do this before doing the gym, because you have to do the gym before getting the squirt bottle as well. And so I fight these battles before I go to the gym, just for, you know, a little extra experience. That was really close to getting hit by Erwin there. That was really close. But yeah, that trainer there only has a vision of 1, otherwise she would have spotted me there, so I've always got to be on the left side to avoid her. Now to Goldenrod Gym. This is another Pokemon that can paralyze you, this Snubble. It's also got Lick. We've still got our Paralyzed Healberry, of course, because Ghastly didn't get us. And now we can use that lovely move Headbutt. Would you look at that? We already got a flinch. Yeah, very close to the 2-hit. You can get a 2-hit there with good attack, but even with good attack it won't always happen. But okay, yeah, this is a pretty much mandatory Super Potion use here. We also equip the berry just for 10 extra HP for this fight, because this is not the easiest fight in the game. It's very, very random, and everybody talks about Whitney's Miltank being absolute torture. It is not the Miltank that is the issue for this speedrun. It is the Clefairy. If the Clefairy uses double slap, the run's pretty much in the bag. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use Rage. And I'm going to try, if it uses double slap, for every time it hits me, my Rage goes up more. Unfortunately, the son of a bitch sits here and spams Metronome, gets off Swords Dance and Agility, then fires off double slap. Yeah, as you can see, I'm now at Rage 2, so I'm going to do quite a bit more damage. And now we're at Rage 3. So we actually did need at least Rage 3 here to 3-hit this Miltank. If I only had Rage 2, it would have been fucked. Those Metronomes can definitely be much worse. Let me just list some really bad Metronome moves that can happen. Spore, Confuse Ray, Thunder Wave, Zap Cannon, Leech Seed, Toxic. What else is pretty bad? Supersonic, Sacred Fire. Leech Seed is awful. Leech Seed is disgusting. The worst two by far, Self-Destruct and Explosion one-hit KO you. Those are awful. But yeah, there are a lot of terrible, terrible moves that can come out of Metronome. In the meantime, I just managed to beat that Miltank. But there was never really a worry there. As soon as I got Rage 3 off, I had won the battle. The only thing it could do is use Stomp instead of Rollout. That would be awful. Once it uses Rollout, I've won. But the only reason it was even close is because Clefairy got so much damage off because it used Swords Dance. Some other awful attacks, things like Charm, Screech. There's so much that can go wrong with Metronome. It's by far the threat of that fight. But yeah, now we can get the Squirt Bowler that we've beaten Whitney. And see, that just wouldn't happen if I didn't talk to Floria before. And now we do our shopping. We obviously did this after Whitney because we needed the money from all those fights. Otherwise we wouldn't have enough for all the stuff we need. And so it's quicker to just do it after Whitney than to do 2 shopping trips, obviously. Okay, so now we sell that Revive and Ether that we got in the Ilex Forest, because they're worth quite a bit of money. Now, I sell both these Pokeballs because I know, because I've only been hit by 1 spinner so far, I didn't have enough money. So I had to sell those Pokeballs as well. I think I only had to sell 1 of them, but I just sold them both anyway. Because they're irrelevant at this point, because I'm not going to catch anything more. For example, if I still had a Poliwag to catch, I really wouldn't want to let those go. Yeah, we need to stock up on some X items, and X attacks are actually a bit more expensive for whatever reason. So that takes a fair chunk out of our allowance at this point. Escape ropes aren't the cheapest thing either. Yeah, there you go, 160 left. And so if I didn't sell those Pokeballs, I would have been $40 short. Take the center here because we're on low health again, and also our Headbutt PP is actually not high enough. We need to be using Headbutt quite a lot in this next little part coming up. And we cannot take the center at Ecruteak because the Ecruteak Pokemon Center has a cutscene where Bill comes out talking about the time machine, and that obviously wastes a lot of time. And so here's our 4th and last party member here, we get the free Spearow, obviously for Fly. Never deliver the mail, of course. We just take the Pokemon and run. Okay, so this is the third and final pass of Route 35. Now I wait twice because that guy, when I could finally get past, because the spinner on the left looked up again, Erwin was looking to the left, so I had to wait twice. But the good news is I got past Erwin and his fucking Voltorbs. That's all that matters, all that matters. So yeah, I reattached the Paralyzed Gilberry there because there's a lot of things that can paralyze me coming up. That's why. And the berry is now obviously pretty useless at this point. I still had to have it there for that Whitney fight just in case. Because if the second rollout did put me under half, then I would have been saved by the berry. Which is why that fight wasn't nearly as close as it seemed it was. We got past another spinner there, Gregory. No, I think his name's just Greg, actually. Maybe. Whatever. Greg. But, he's actually got a Drowsy. One time when I got hit by him, I actually got killed. Because his Drowsy knows Hypnosis and Dream Eater. And he put me to sleep for like 6 turns and just kept spamming Dream Eater and eventually killed me. Because Dream Eater's power is 100. It's devastating. But yeah, this is where Headbutt really does its stuff. It's right here in the Kimono Girls. Without Headbutt, these take forever. Like, a Headbutt's so good, it actually does more damage than that Flareon the Mortigun does. Not only am I doing it for the flinch and to avoid super effective attacks, but it actually does just more damage. Because it's obviously coming off a better, because Croconaur's got more attack than it does special attack. This Espeon's a bit of a worry, because it's faster than you and, knows Confusion. It doesn't actually use it that much. It actually knows Confusion and Sand Attack, so I'm really happy to see it use Tackle. But, Confusion can obviously confuse you, and can lead to very, very bad things. Most of these fights tend to be, you know, not that difficult, but if they all go slightly bad, it can build up quite immensely. This Umbreon, again, no Sand Attack, and it's obviously quite a tank, so it takes a few more hits. So this can be quite troubling if he does use it. I get pretty lucky here and he just spams Tackle though. Two more to go. As you can see, these Kimono Girls actually give a fair bit of money. They give 12.24 for each one you beat, and obviously there's 5 of them. So quite a lot of money comes out of this. Okay, so I've taken 20 damage. Now at this point, you generally don't have any healing items at all. I've still got my berry, but I don't need to use it because I managed to only take 20 damage. Now if I was at anything less than 45, I would have to heal here. So if I didn't have any healing items, I would actually have to duck out of this place and go to the mart to buy super potions just to heal before this, because the Jolteon will always use Thundershock, because it's super effective, and it's faster than you, so it's always going to get off 2 of them. So I just managed to hang in here for this fight, so pretty happy about that. And now our reward for beating up those Kimono Girls is an early HMO3 Surf, which is obviously a very important move for Croconaur. So now we're going to head off to the mart. Because we're obviously going to need more than a few healing items here. Use repel here because we have to go to Burnt Tower, and so it's quicker to do everything while you're in the item menu. I used a potion rather than 2 super potions to get rid of my potion and keep an extra super potion. But yeah, so now we'll build up a moveset. We didn't teach Ice Punch before there because Ice Punch wouldn't be good against any of the Kimono girls. This music's so good. Always loved that part of the run, when it was a bad run, just kept me all nice and relaxed. But yeah, okay, this is another Crystal exclusive, that you have to go to Burnt Tower, because Morty's just chilling in here rather than sitting at the gym, for whatever reason. So we have to go over here and beat up our rival. X special is pretty much required for this fight. Okay, Ice Punch on the Haunter because we're trying to conserve Surf BP a fair bit at this point, and obviously it avoids super effective text. So without an X special here you wouldn't kill that Haunter. And like, it doesn't always use Curse, so you have to surf it if it's still at full HP. And I don't think you killed the Zubat either, and maybe not the Magnemite. Reflect is very nice. I think a critical critical Razor Leaf would have killed me at that point. Now, switching to Surf for the Zubat again to miss super effective text, even though it costs a PP that might have come in handy before. Some genius you are. But okay, yeah, this was the whole point of coming down here, to activate the legendary dogs. And now that they're done, I meant to have a cutscene talking to Hussein about how awesome Suicune is, but instead we just escape right out of here. And straight to the gym. Now this guy has 5 Ghastlies that are all level 16. He doesn't really learn very much. His name is also Sage Ping. Doesn't have much going for him. But yeah, again, Surf everywhere throughout this gym instead of Bite to avoid that super effective text. Surf actually does more than Bite to him anyway. When you put in Stab, it's Bite does 120 and Surf does, what's it, 143.5? Yeah. So easier than the clear choice. Now we follow a nice invisible path there, so we don't have to fight the second trainer in this gym. She's the only one you can skip, but it's nice that you can at least miss one of them. Now the exception to the rule I was talking about before is this guy, Jeffrey. The reason we don't surf this Haunter is because Surf won't one-hit it anyway, and he's faster than me. And Haunter knows a move called Spite, and if he managed to Spite Surf and took like 5 PP, oh see, he just used it, that would be really, really bad. Because we need all the PP we have for Surf. Well, we don't need it all, but we need most of it. And having some for insurance is actually quite important. Because, you know, there's still a possibility of getting hit by spinners down the road. Load back up to Surf. This is actually another one that I wouldn't kill without double 12s, this Haunter, and it again knows Spite. So there's a lot of Pokemon in the game that you are very close to one-hitting, and you really need a good special stat. It's hard to explain, but special's only important because of that. The fact that you're only doing like 101% damage there. Okay, I use the repel here again, because it's quicker to do it while I'm in the item menu, and it still carries over after a battle, and so the 100 steps still carry over for when I'm about to go to the grass after this battle. Okay, I'm not worried about Morty at all, because I've still got a Paralyzed Killberry. I don't think it's possible to lose this fight at this point. Oh no, it would be. Ghastly would have to use Lick twice and paralyze me both times. But okay, back to our X items. This is one of only 2 fights where I use an X speed. You're gonna have to wait a while to wait for the other one as well. But yeah, X speed and X special, that'll make me faster than all of the Pokemon here, and make me one-hit all but one of them. There goes my Paralyzed Killberry. Again, Ice Punch. But yeah, Paralyzed Killberry did its job. Got me all the way to Morty. I would ideally keep it all the way to Claire. She's really the only one left that can paralyze me, and she generally will. Now we switch out to Bite against this Gengar, hoping for a flinch, and we get the critical, which is even better. Gengar will generally use Hypnosis, that's why I bought Awakenings, and when he puts you to sleep he'll always use Dream Eater, so then he just fails with that. So all that really happens there if he hits me with Hypnosis is I take another turn of Curse damage, which is actually pretty bad, because it wastes a lot of time, so that critical there is actually really nice. Okay, 4 badges down. It's the little optimizations I really love about Pokemon speedrunning, like going left there rather than all the way down saves me 1 tile. It's just those little things that I really love grinding out. Okay, this place isn't actually really fun for spinners either. This was really bad. My controls were fucking up so bad here, and I managed to get hit by this. This is another spinner. Fucking Dana. I've got so many excuses for why that happened, that, she's probably the spinner that hits me the least throughout all of my runs, and, it just feels so bad, man, that I got hit by her. So bad. Much better than being hit by someone like Owen, I guess, but yeah, it just sucks. 2 at this point is actually still quite low. Another one coming up here. Managed to get past her. She's only got 1 Pokemon, but it's a Corsola, and it's actually quite tanky. Now, you don't have to fight this Pokefan, but you would have to fight the other one. Both of them have a Pikachu at the same level, so it makes no difference which one you fight. I fight this one because you can actually talk to her. You can't talk to the guy. And so that's obviously quicker as it avoids the exclamation mark coming up. There, as you can see, the repel still got me through all the grass I went through, so did its job just fine. But okay, we go to the mart here because this is the first place in the game you can buy super repels. And so we're going to stock up on those for the rest of the game. Take the center here because we're out of headbutts and surfs, and obviously we're going to be needing a fair few of those, as they're our main 2 moves. Okay, now Noctowl actually has really high special defense relative to its defense. Headbutt actually does more than Surf or Ice Punch to a Noctowl. So, Headbutt obviously for turn 1, hope for that flinch. Growl, that's fine. He's actually got Hypnosis, which is obviously quite bad. I can definitely live with Growl. So at this point, because I've only been hit by 2 spinners, I know by the end of the lighthouse I'm only going to be level 29, and straight after the lighthouse we go to Cianwood Gym, and if we're not level 30 by there, we kinda get bodied, because as you should know, Crocodile Revolves at level 30, and the step up is huge. Without that step up, I get destroyed by the first 2 trainers in that gym. But yeah, nothing in here really troubles me that much at all. This Marill unfortunately takes 2 hits to go down. Oh, another flinch. Oh yeah, hopefully everybody is starting to see how good Headbutt is right now. It's such a good move. Okay, so we go down the left side of this drop zone. If we go down on the right, we land right in front of that trainer, and he'll obviously battle you. Okay, there's another spinner, Ernest. We got past him, very nice. So yeah, talking to Jasmine triggers the flag for being able to get the secret potion, so that's why we had to come up here. Accidentally talked to her twice. I mean, nice bit of RNG manipulation there. But yes, falling down the hole here was necessary to get the rare candy. if I had actually gone around to try and get that rare candy, I would have had to fight an extra trainer. So it's nice that you can just fall down that hole, escape rope out of there, and go off to get strength. And again, as it's quicker to do everything in same item, we're going to do a couple things here. Now, this is actually pretty weird and I don't know why. If you evolve with a rare candy, the text box speed suddenly switched to fastest. Look at how fast the text goes here. It loads the whole text box in one frame. That's coined as fastest text. Normally it does, for each frame, it'll do one letter, but then it was doing one text box. I do not know why that happens after you use a rare candy to evolve, but it does. Just a nice bit of interesting facts about how weird these games are. It's another spinner, Kaylee. She's got 3, and you don't one-hit her Seeking as well, so always nice to get past her. She's one of my least favorites to hit as well. Not one of my least favorites overall, but when I hit her, I get mad. Or, more correctly speaking, when she hits me. But okay, these are the 2 trainers I was talking about before that you really need to be for Alligator for. Because these guys kinda body, Croconaw. They're not exactly the lowest of levels, and Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan aren't exactly the weakest of Pokemon either. That double kick does about half damage to a Croconaw, and I'm pretty sure he's actually faster than Croconaw as well. I think you might still 2-hit the Hitmonlee, but you wouldn't 2-hit the Hitmonchan. Like, if you go into these fights with a Croconaw, you will lose, like, 80% of the time. It's awful. Okay, so now that I do have Feraligatr, though, these fights are actually pretty easy. Surf on anything that Surf will one-hit, and if there's something that I don't one-hit, I use Headbutt first to go for the flinch. Headbutt's just that cool. Actually taken a fair bit more damage than I usually do in this gym, which is a bit of a shame. Normally you can go all the way throughout the gym without having to heal, but taking a fair bit of damage here that I'm going to have to heal before choke. One more battle first though. So, everybody talks about so many things that bodied them as a kid. That puzzle right there destroyed me when I first played this game. I had no idea what to do. It's such an easy puzzle, but I couldn't do it. I would have been like 7, maybe 6. And I just had no idea. Yep, Primeape gets the critical as well, so yeah. 16 health is nowhere near enough for Chuck. Now, Chuck is one of those trainers where you don't have to get lucky to win, you have to get unlucky to lose. And I mean really unlucky. Like, it's just an awful feeling when you lose this fight. If I still had my Bitter Berry, I'd equip it, but obviously that went to the Zubats earlier on. Because Chuck is the second last guy that can confuse you. His Primeape isn't the issue at all. So we'll build up on X attacks. He does like no damage at all. And generally he just uses Leer. Maybe like Rage or Fury Spikes. He doesn't really have much to hurt you. And then we just one-hit him. But yeah, this is the main issue, the Poliwrath. Now we're using Headbutt so he can flinch. He will actually use any of his 4 moves here, and there's only one you don't want to see, and it's Dynamic Punch, which then has 50% accuracy. He managed to roll Dynamic Punch, but then missed. So if Dynamic Punch hits, it doesn't quite kill you. It takes, after 2 Leers, it'd take me to like, what, 20 health or something? But the fact that it confuses you, after you hit yourself in confusion, that does like 50 damage. Because not only do you have really good attack, but you just used 2 X attacks, and got hit by 2 Leers. So the amount of damage you do in confusion is huge. But so yeah, to lose that fight, you have to have him roll Dynamic Punch on 1 in 4, hit with Dynamic Punch 1 in 2, and then hit yourself in confusion 1 in 2. Really unlucky if that happens. But it does happen occasionally. Oh, and you have to not flinch with Headbutt. So yeah, it's like a 1 in 24 chance or so of losing that fight. Now we get Flying Secret Potion, 2 very nice items. Teach Fly to our boy Kenya. So now that we've got the Secret Potion, we can give that to Jasmine and fight her. I elect not to do this because I don't quite have enough special to one-hit all of her Pokemon. So we'll do that a bit later. Now it's actually quicker to go through Mount Morty here than to just surf across. By, I think I calculated 5 seconds? 14 to 19, I think. Might have been 7. But it's definitely quicker either way. Got past another one, Benjamin. So we're doing really well on spinners at this point. Like this path through Lake of Rage, it's obvious when you look at it, but like when I first looked at the map of Lake of Rage, it's like, yeah, which of these trainers am I fighting? And it turns out you can just fight none of them. But okay, here we go. Red Gyarados is shiny, and the event for this battle of being shiny means you can never flee. However, you can use a Pokédoll to get rid of this fight. And that triggers the cutscene for it's over. So the Gyarados disappears. So, that's why we got the Pokédoll, obviously. And that's much quicker than actually fighting the Gyarados, because he takes like 4 turns to actually kill. And he can actually do a lot of damage. I think he has Dragon Rage? He definitely has Thrash. But yeah, it's much quicker and safer to just use the Pokédoll. And the experience doesn't really come in handy at all. So much quicker to do that. And now we see Lance just beating up some guy with Hyper Beam. That's real cool. This is probably the, this little segment coming up now is probably the worst part of the speedrun, because this is the split between going to Olivine and Mahogany. Like, you can go straight to Mahogany after you do Ecruteak, and so you're exceptionally overleveled at this point compared to the Rocket's Pokemon. So you just kinda destroy everything here, and there's a lot of trainers for whatever reason in here. Like, I think that's probably the only fault. I like the split path idea, but I don't like how they made a lot of mandatory fights. That didn't really make any sense. Because it always meant the one you went to second, there was going to be a lot of fights where you were just going to destroy. So we serve everything in here. We used up all our headbutts in the Chuck Gym. That was on purpose, obviously, because surfing here is killing everything in one hit anyway. That's not cool. Rattata using quick attack and wasting my time. Just hurry up and die, mate. Luckily this game has really good music, so it's all good. But yeah, this guy, again, strictly speaking, you don't have to fight him, but behind him is something that allows us to skip, like, 6 battles. So it's definitely worth fighting this guy to skip those 6. Secret switch, better press it. Okay, so yeah, we pick up the guard spec as well. I don't even think you can buy them in this game. Maybe you can, a Goldenrod, but obviously we didn't have enough money to buy one, regardless. So we just pick it up over here, and that won't be used for a while, but it definitely a good idea to pick up that guard spec. Very nice of Lance to give us a free heal here, because we were running low on just about everything. Well, when I say everything, I mean the 2 important attacks, Headbutt and Surf. Okay, so at this point, a lot of the run is about PP management. You want to be able to make sure you can take the least amount of centers possible, which from this point onwards is you want to be able to take only 1 between now and the end of Johto. And so a lot of it's about, you know, any of these moves will kill this, but which one of them do I want to actually use? So things like ice punching the seconds doesn't exactly look like the smartest thing, but I need to conserve my surfs. And then I headbutt the gloom because I don't want to ice punch because that's super effective. Have to talk to these trainers again after you beat them because we need the 2 passwords, and after you beat them they don't tell you the password. It's when you talk to them again that they tell you the password. Go figure. Okay, passwords acquired. And then another spinner. He's also only got range of 1, so he can only get us when we're looking right. If we go all the way down, he can't get me. I never really understood why a rival showed up here, and like it doesn't in Olivine as well, just to not fight you. I don't have time for the likes of you. I'm the one doing a speedrun, so get out of here. This fight's again a very easy one, despite being an executive. He has a Zubat! Well done, sir. Yeah, pretty simple. And so now we have to talk to the Murkrow, because the Murkrow tells us the ultimate password. Even though I obviously know the passwords before I play the game, I still need to learn them in-game because the character doesn't know. And this son of a bitch spinner manages to get me. I hate when it happens on like the last pass. It can as well. Waste my time. Now luckily at this stage Bite PP isn't important, so... And luckily he's really weak and will die to... all of his Pokemon will die to Bite, so this doesn't mess up my PP management. Otherwise I would be real mad. Quick attack again! Wasting my time! It's the little things I really care about. The little things. And the reason we really get this full heal is because it's faster to go down the right side than all the way to the left. I so could have taken on both these trainers at the same time. I would have destroyed them. But yeah, okay, this is really the first fight in here where good stats become important. This Arbok here will not die into Surf if you don't have good stats. Even with good stats, it won't always die as well. So, getting the one-hit KO here is pretty nice. Unfortunately, have to Ice Punch this Gloom, won't die to a headbutt. Now that Team Rocket's done with, we go into the Electrodes. Now, the Electrodes are a bit different to the trainers, because all the trainers' Pokemon always have fixed stats. They are always the same, they never change on a different playthrough. These Electrode, on the other hand, are actually wild Pokemon, so their DVs do differ. So they will have different stats every time you fight them. And you usually one-hit them with Surf, especially with good special. But if you just so happen to come into an Electrode with HP and special DVs of 15, suddenly you're not going to one-hit it. And I just so happened to do that. I got away lightly enough, considering he used Screech. He could have used, like, Self-Destruct and been a complete bitch, but whatever. So, got the extra level now. More than likely I won't encounter two of those godly Electrodes, so should be good from this point on. Now, after this last Electrode goes down, there it goes. Where actually, now we could fight either Price or Jasmine at this point, and we're obviously going to fight Price because we're already in Mahogany Town. So we fight Jasmine slightly, quote-unquote, out of order. Simply because we just so happen to be in Mahogany. Now, unfortunately, Mahogany Gym has my least favourite spinner of all time, because you can't even see him while he's spinning because you're skating on ice. There he is! Fucking Border Douglas. This... it doesn't get any worse than Border Douglas. You have to pass him twice, and you have to sit there for ages the two times you do pass him, because you've got to turn around. You've got to bump right into his ass. And you can't even see him. You just have to hope. It's complete chance. And then, he's got 3 Pokemon where your best attack is Bite. And he's got Protect on his Cloyster. Protect! Just the worst guy. Oh, Douglas. Fucking Douglas. I hate Douglas. That's now 4. And now it's time for Price. Now, Price is no issue at all. Nothing. He can do nothing. The only thing you can get out of this fight is for things to go better than expected. Like get a flinch or a critical or something. The amount of damage this guy can do to you is so little. He gets enough turns to do something, but nothing really happens. See, Icy Wind, my speed fell. It doesn't matter, I still outspeed everything. There we go, we got a flinch. Doing good. And obviously one hit the pile of swine. So there we go, 6 badges acquired. But okay, now that we've actually got Mahogany out of the way, we can go back to Olivine, deliver the secret potion, and beat up Jasmine, because now we've got enough levels that we will one-hit all of Jasmine's Pokemon. Before, Surf would do like 95% to all 3 of her Pokemon, but now they will always do like 105. Actually, more like 110. But, if you recall, there's still a spinner in the lighthouse, and fucking Ernest manages to get me on the second pass. The reason this really pisses me off is if he'd hit me on the first pass, I wouldn't have need to get that rare candy to evolve to Feraligatr. And so that would have been faster to hit him on the first pass than the second pass, by quite a few seconds. But nope. You gotta mess with my shit like this. Luckily, he's exceptionally underleveled at this point. The only turn I lose there is I would have to 2-hit the Poliwhirl if he gets me on the first pass. But that one turn costs less time than going down the floor, getting the rare candy and using the rare candy. So I love how they give you an option for that question. Will this cure Amphi? No, it won't. I went halfway across the sea. I went all the way across the sea to get that goddamn potion, just to tell you that it won't work. Oh my goodness, Jasmine. But yes, now we finally get to fight Jasmine, and this is a joke of a fight, because I delayed her. Her Magnemite's actually no Thunderbolt, so if you don't one-hit them, this is a pretty awful fight, but the fact that I did Mahogany first makes this a joke. Honestly, she's more of a 7th gym leader than Price is anyway. I mean, she's got the levels on him. Price led with the 27 Seal, I think. She's got 30 Magnemites. And then I think Price's last was a 31 Piloswine. Her last is a 35 Steelix. Who do you think's the better trainer? Well, I mean, I guess I one-hit all of Jasmine's. Mineral badge. 7 badges acquired. Unfortunately, all these TMs are pretty worthless at this point. There's only one more move I want for the whole game, and I don't get that from a gym leader. I go and get that myself. But okay, now it's time for the Radio Tower side quest. That's not really a side quest, but it's kinda out of my way to becoming the Pokemon League champion. But yeah, use the Aetheron Surf there because obviously we're out of surfs. No, I didn't freeze the game, that's the bike shop calling me. This always happens. Gotta deal with it. But yeah, Aetheron Surf there because that's quicker than taking a center. There really isn't that many PP items in this game. That Ether in the Lighthouse is the only one I get, because everything else is way too far out of the way. More quick attacks, more time wastes. Again, there isn't really much in here that poses much of a threat. I'm fairly overleveled compared to everything in here, but my stats again start to make a difference on a few Pokemon in here, like the next one coming up now. Whoa. Yeah, this bitch in her Arbok. Again, without good special. Don't kill this Arbok with Surf. Now, Slash actually has the same power as Headbutt, with a high crit chance, but you elect not to learn it simply because flinching is actually more beneficial than the critical chance. A lot of the times you use a Headbutt and it doesn't one-hit KO. 2 Headbutts won't actually kill it. The only reason you use Headbutt is to go for the flinch. I'll give you some examples when they come up, but most of the time that is the case. Actually, this trainer has an exception, but if you don't hit any spinners, you don't learn Slash until after this trainer anyway. This muck we don't want hit, so we throw down some headbutts hoping for a flinch. This muck actually has a terrible moveset for something that you don't want here. It's got like harden, pound. I've never seen it use anything else. It's shocking. So strictly speaking, you don't have to fight this guy on the way up. You can fight that guy just below him with the wheezing. But then you still gotta fight him. No, it's not this guy. You have to fight this guy regardless. My mistake. Sorry. But yeah, nothing here that's... Oh my goodness, the amount of quick attacks! It's ridiculous. Has all that damage I've taken been from quick attacks? I think it might. It's devastating. Okay, it's this guy you don't have to fight on the way up. You can fight that guy looking down with the wheezing and squeeze in between a gap there, but then you actually can't escape rope off the radio tower. So the only way out would be to death warp somehow, and that's just not happening considering I have 4 Pokemon. And even if it did happen, it wouldn't even be close to being faster. So we just have to fight this scientist. The other guy's only got 1 Pokemon. Whereas this guy's got 3, but yeah, not worth it at all. This guy's a normal spinner. And so this guy's got a Porygon. Now, you need to have good special and get really lucky on min-max to one-hit this Porygon. Like, I kill it, I think about 10% of the time, even with good special. Really close, but not close enough. He actually doesn't normally use Tri-Attack. Tri-Attack can actually be quite deadly. Like, if I got frozen or something there, that would just be awful. But he usually uses, Conversion or Conversion too. But that's fine. Didn't get any status, so it's all good. Now this guy, with 6 Pokemon, Now, Surf's the only thing that kills these coughing, so we have to blow all our PP here. And if you've been paying attention, I currently have no headbutts, and by the end of this fight I also have no Surfs. Perfect time for a center, right? And like I mentioned before, you can't escape rope out of this tower, so you have to walk all the way out. And go straight off to the center. Finally get to hear this great music. But yeah, we had to take that center afterwards because we had to use attacks other than Surf there, rather than take it and then use Surf. Also, we had to use more than 10 PP. And we now take a pretty long stretch. This is the only time where PP of other moves is important as well, other than Headbutt and Surf. Bite and Ice Punch also are very tight by the end of this segment. And so now we go to the underground and fight some guys. Now we could have fought these guys earlier, but it would have taken 2 trips to the underground, so obviously slower. But yeah, these guys are pretty joke-worthy, considering you're 30 levels above them. Now this guy's even worse because he's got 4 Pokemon, and the worst part about this is he's got Magnemites. And so obviously I'm still trying to avoid text boxes here, and the only attack I have that isn't not very effective on Magnemite is Surf. So I have to Surf a level 7 Magnemite. 3 of them in fact. And of course, our rival was just waiting for us to open that door with the basement key. Now, this is another fight where stats are really important. Ice Punch on this Golbat, again a damage range. And we just critical anyway. So that's fine. Okay, here we go, Meganium. This is a good example of what I was talking about before. Headbutt here is just trying to go for the flinch. 2 Headbutts isn't even going to come close to killing that Meganium. But an Ice Punch won't kill the Meganium in 1 hit either. So we go for the flinch first with Headbutt. And
And yeah, I got really lucky on a critical on that Sneasel, because that Sneasel is probably the hardest damage range in the game to get. I probably hit that maybe like 5% of the time, even with perfect double 12s. Killing that Sneasel in one hit is really rare, so the critical more than likely saved me a turn there. And now, this is probably the puzzle that most people got stuck on as a kid, or, well, just playing through the game the first time in general, is these goddamn switches. Ironically, I actually didn't have any trouble with these when I first played the game. It was like the first combination I ever tried, and it worked. And then again, my memory is actually really bad. I have like I can't remember what was going on 10 seconds ago, but I kinda have the idea when I was a kid, I somehow had this combination where I didn't fight the two trainers after these switches, which I spent probably about 7 hours on these switches trying to recreate and couldn't. And I watched the TAS of this game for gold, and it also couldn't do any better. So but yeah, these mucks, again, damage range on special. Without my great special, I don't one hit these mucks either. And this 24 one, even with good special, you won't, it's probably like a 50-50 to kill. But he got some good luck, and down he goes. But yeah, so here we go, the pattern that I think everybody uses now that they actually know what they're doing. 3, 2, 1 opens up a path to the end, and fight all the trainers along the way. But yeah, none of these trainers pose a threat anymore. This part of the game is actually pretty easy as well. But what I really like about this part of the game is between Jasmine and Claire, there are actually no spinners. So this is the real stat part of the game, pretty much. It really all depends on how good your stats are, how fast you're going through here. And I just so happen to have double 12, so I go through really fast. Now these glooms here, strictly speaking, I actually can headbutt them. The issue is that it's on a damage range. you won't always, even with perfect attack, you won't always kill these glooms with headbutt, but you can. So I like to Ice Punch, even though I get the super effective text, because it's definitely not worth the risk to use headbutt to avoid that text, as 2 hits takes much longer than 1, even with the text. Over to the left there is one of the Ultra Balls I would get if I didn't have Poliwag right now. Another one was just before Mount Mortar that I forgot to point out. I think those are the only 2 I was getting. There's another one later on, but I wasn't getting it. But yeah, a lot of this part of the run, like I've said before, is just knowing exactly what attacks to use. If you slip up just a bit, PP management's completely fucked. Even if you use an extra surf where something would have died from Ice Punch or something. Suddenly you don't have enough surfs, and then you have to Ice Punch something else, and then you run out of Ice Punches, and if you run out of Ice Punches, you're pretty boned. Last train of the underground, almost done with this part. Unnecessary critical. More wasted frames. It's not too bad. I think that's like my first... No, it's not my first. It's the first one I've noticed. Of my unnecessary criticals. And I've had a couple of very nice ones as well, like that Sneasel and Morty's Gengar especially. That was a very big one. This guy, he talks for 17 seconds. It just goes on and on and on. I hate this guy. Luckily, you can just escape right out of here. And back to the radio tower. Some more of this awesome music. Battle. I like how it just plays the same music, just at a slightly different pitch, though. Brilliant. But okay, yeah, there aren't as many battles on the second pass of the radio tower. It's only 4, one's already down. These next 2 are the troubling ones. Because this guy's got a Golbat that's also on a damage range, and it knows I think it knows Confuse Ray and Supersonic. It can definitely confuse you. So if you don't want to hit this with Ice Punch, you tend to run into a bit of trouble. And I didn't, but I got lucky enough and he uses Leech Life, which is a bit of a joke at level 36. But sure, whatever. Well, to be fair, so is Supersonic. But okay, this fight actually has 2 damage ranges. The lead Arbok doesn't always die to Surf, but Arbok really isn't the issue. It uses like... what does it use? Like Poison Sting, I guess? But it's never really done anything quite that bad. The second Pokemon is a Vileplume. Now, the Vileplume doesn't always die to Ice Punch, and it's got Stun Spore, and that hurts. Luckily we get them both though. Very nice, very nice. And then Murkrow was a bit of a joke. Last rocket. I do like this guy though, because he's got cool Pokemon. He's actually got a Houndour and a Houndoom. Much cooler than all these other guys with like Zubats and Coughings. Oh wait, this guy's got a Coughing as well. But yeah, Houndour and Houndoom are really cool Pokemon. It's a shame you can't actually catch them until Kanto. And in case you weren't watching, that was my last Surf that I just used there. We did it! We saved the radio tower and all the Pokemon worldwide. Now we have the Clear Bell. We can go patch. Jesus Christ. One of these days I'll learn how to talk. Go catch Suicune. There was an Ultra Ball off to the left there, that Pokeball right there, but obviously don't need that. What we will do though, is get the radio card. Quicker to obviously get it now because we're in the radio tower. Now, before anyone asks, the answers are not all yes. You can press B, and that automatically selects no. The answers are yes, yes, no, yes, no. And so now, because we beat the radio tower, that Rage Candy by what the hell did I just say? Rage Candy Bar Guy is gone. And so now we can move on to Route 44. Now this is where I would catch a Poliwag in this water here, if I didn't get one earlier. But now we can just blast on through to Ice Path. Now, Ice Path is by far the most technically demanding part of the run, in terms of how you use the bike, because there's a lot of tricky stuff in here. The first floor isn't too hard. It's the second one where you really got to be on your toes, and you're never going to be able to do it perfectly. You're always going to lose like 3 to like 8 tiles, and if you try and do it too fast, you generally make a huge mistake and end up having to reload the room. The basic premise is this place has got strength boulders, and in this generation you can actually move after hitting a strength boulder while it's moving in a direction other than where you hit the strength boulder. So I'm going to try and pretty much hit both of these strength boulders at the same time, just for a bit. And you'll see it in action as this one goes down. See how I actually move 2 tiles while it falls down the hole. And then we cleverly only push down 1 boulder and then fall down a hole, and we can still complete the puzzle. Obviously you're meant to push down all 4, but nah, I don't bother with that. So yeah, I did that pretty well. Managed to not go down the ledges there as well. Obviously if you jump down a ledge, it's slower than going through a hole with the bike on. When you don't have the bike on, it's the same speed in this game, but with the bike on you want to be going down those holes. And now we're at the last gym, Blackthorn. Dragon is a cool type when you've got Ice Punch, but of course we don't have that many Ice Punches. And we want to be using Headbutt in these Dratinis anyway, because we want to avoid that super effective text. And luckily Dratini isn't quite as strong as it is cute. Okay, now, with these trainers on the other hand, they, because they've got the Horsey Seadra line, Horsey Seadra actually have much higher defense than they do special defense. Bite actually does more to these guys than Headbutt does. So we got to dish out some bites against them. Really unlucky. Managed to dish out Smokescreen and get the miss. Usually just uses... Actually, it usually just flinches, but yeah, it's usually like Twister that I get hit by there. Pretty unlucky to lose a turn there. Kinda sucks, but not much of a time sink at all. Now one more. Yeah, you could see I moved a tile there as well. You can't move in the same direction as you push the boulder. Like if I push a boulder to the right, I can't move to the right as the boulder's moving to the right. But I can move to the left. Because I can't move into the position where the boulder was, pretty much. Because it still kind of thinks the boulder's there. No troubles with the second one. That feel when you get accepted into a dragon gym without dragons. Well done, Claire. What a fantastic gym leader you are.
one more trainer before her. And now that a Dragonair comes out, we have to start using Ice Punch, because Headbutt won't kill a Dragonair. So now at this stage I've got more than enough health for Claire, so I don't have to heal. Ideally I'd still have that Paralyzed Cure Berry, but, you know, keeping it all the way to this point is fairly unrealistic. But Claire will always lead with Thunder Wave from Dragonair, and you need to, well, you don't need to, but spend one turn here using an X attack. The reason we do this is because it gives us a 2-hit on Kingdra, and Kingdra knows this off move called Smokescreen. And, yeah, we get hit by Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave can actually fail, despite having 100% accuracy. In this game, when opponents use status moves with quote-unquote 100%, they can fail. Like Growl against you can fail, and Tail Whip and Thunder Wave. They'll never fail if you use them, but if they use it against you, they can fail. And I can get Paralysis trapped here forever, because then Dragonair switches into Dragon Breath. But didn't paralyze the first time, so we're good now. But yeah, if Kingdra uses Smokescreen here, and if I didn't use an X attack, and I missed once, I would kinda get bodied. These Dragonairs you can actually not one-hit as well. Managed to get all of them. With my special, I probably killed them like 90% of the time. But it's still a lingering possibility. But yeah, X attack's pretty much mandatory for this fight. Because, got Smokescreen out anyway. And we still managed to hit, but yeah, I only had one headbutt left, and so if I managed to miss and I didn't use the X attack, I would be burned. And if you don't X attack after 2 headbutts, Claire pretty much always hyper potions, meaning you're even more screwed. But yes, Claire's down, don't have our 8th badge of course. Still got some work to do. And here we're going to see another reason why it was so good that we caught Poliwag early on, rather than on 44. The fact that Poliwag has no moves means when we teach it the HMs it's got to learn, it doesn't have to get rid of any moves, and so it learns Whirlpool and Waterfall much quicker, because it just learns them, rather than have to forget something to learn it. So much better to catch that level 4. That guy was so ready to jump you. Like, that's just so cruel. Enter a dungeon, first step, someone battles you. There's just nothing you can do. Again, gotta Ice Punch the Dragonair. And here comes our one and only use of Whirlpool. Yay! But yes, now we have to do the Pokemon test to get our 8th badge. Now this time B doesn't work because you get 3 options rather than yes, no. However, much like the radio card, the pattern is AA, B, AB. Before it was yes, yes, no, yes, no. This time it's first. Like, well, this quiz is actually 2 of the 3 answers are acceptable,
but I just want the quickest ones. So I need first, first, second, first, second. So it's the same pattern. I'm not sure whether that's coincidence or not, but I find it interesting. Meanwhile, 8th badge. I love how I get stuck on that screen when you get the 8th badge. Hurry up, take it. Not I got the rising badge. And now the very sacred Claire theme again. These few seconds. Cherish them. And instead of walking out of here, we're going to use our very last escape rope. And now it's time to start our journey to the Elite Four. I love how this guy stops you and just assumes that you have a map. He tells you to check your map. I don't have one. Like, ugh. Oh, and here we go, waterfall. This animation is so good in Gen 2. Oh, I love how you go up waterfalls faster than you go down. So legit. It's a shame you don't get to hear much of this music, because this is actually my favourite track in the game. We're at 26 and 27, it's so good. No, there it goes again. And here we go. This girl just so happens to give you a free heal. Just in time. How lovely. And yeah, that's obviously much quicker than a Pokemon Center, so more than ideal to take that one. Now, this bitch Joyce, she spins like crazy, and you gotta get past her twice. Luckily you can get past her twice on any side. But, yeah, very happy to get past her. She's got like a Blastoise. Yeah, Pikachu and Blastoise. And Blastoise, as you know, is a bit of a tank, so it takes a while to take down. It's a 2-hit, other than a 1. Happy to get past her. And this is the only trainer we have to fight on the way to Victory Road. Crystal. Now, I love how they actually put a check for the badges in this game. Despite the fact that you can't get to that point legitimately without having all 8 badges. Because obviously the Rage Candy bag, oh, I said it again, Rage Candy Bar guy. That is hard to say. You try and say that right now. That's stupid. But anyway, okay. This is my favorite Victory Road because ain't no strength boulders or shit. It's just go through it, no trainers, so ease. And it just so happens to have the best TM of all time, TM26 Earthquake. Now, we actually don't teach that right away, because we don't need it, and we do need the move it's about to replace for the next fight. So we're gonna hang on to that for just a little bit. This guy's a bit of a joke just before the Elite Four, to be honest. The difficulty level here is just so low. But again, we still can't one-hit Meganium, so we go for the flinch with Headbutt. And we get it this time. Lovely. That'll be a perfect rival fight because we one-hit everything now. You need terrible special to not one-hit this Golbat. Well, not terrible. Average. I don't... The average is terrible for me. That's what happens when you start speedrunning. But yeah, very, very easy fight, considering the Elite Four is coming up next. So now, we're actually going to buy a lot more items than we need, because we have a bunch of money, and we may as well spend it. Now, there's really only one fight where any of this is going to be useful at all, and that's not for, well, 95% of the run that's left. But yes, the first member of the Elite Four will. This is where ideally I would keep my Bitterberry up to, because he's the last trainer that can confuse me. Because we have to use one X item in this fight, and so his Xatu gets a chance to get off Confuse Ray. He uses Psychic anyway, so don't have to worry about that confusion. So with the next special we can easily deal with Xatu's and Exeggutor. Now, we're still not going to be able to one-hit the Slowbro, but the reason we didn't teach Earthquake yet is because we're going to bite that Slowbro. But first we got to deal with this Jinx. Now, Jinx is one of the only Pokemon where you actually use a different attack based on how good your stats are. Lucky I got a critical there, because that's actually a damage range as well, even with Surf. So if I had perfect attack, I would actually headbutt that Jinx rather than surf it, but because my special DV was much higher than my attack DV, I used surf. It's that close how much which one's damage does more. And yeah, we get pretty nice, get the flinch on Slowbro as well, managed to one-hit the Jinx. I'd call that a perfect will fight. Didn't get Confuse Ray either. Beautiful. But yeah, Headbutt wouldn't have two-hit the Slowbro, so we had to throw down Bite there. But now that that's over with, it's time to teach Earthquake. There goes Bite. Service well done, and now we finally have our 4 moves that we keep all the way to the end of the game. It's a really good moveset, and it does everything it needs to do. Now, Koga can actually be a bit of a trouble battle, because he tries to be quite ninja-like. We again need to use an X special, and Ariados loves to use double team. Managed to hit him first go though, which is very nice. Obviously, if you miss the first one, it then gets more and more likely that you keep missing if he keeps spamming double team, which he tends to do. He can Giga Drain, but he tends to not do that, and I'm not sure why. It's really stupid. But now again, with that X special boost, we tend to go through these pretty quickly. Now we're meant to one-hit all of Koga's, but the last two are again a damage range. Now this Mark, this is why we taught Earthquake, of course, doesn't even come close to dying to Surf. It'll sometimes even tank an Earthquake. It's gotta be a really low end on the damage range, but it generally dies to Earthquake, but it can survive even if you've got a perfect attack. And this Crobat, of course, is faster than you and knows double team. This Ice Punch also doesn't also kill, also doesn't also. You know what I mean. It doesn't always kill. But we managed to hit and get the kill as well. Koga, perfect. Now Bruno is by far the easiest member of the Elite Four in this run. He only has one possible chance to ever hit you, because he leads with a Hitmontop, which is a really cool Pokemon, but he does the dumbest thing ever with this Hitmontop, and he does it every single time. We're going to use an X attack, and he's going to dig. Obviously doesn't know that I have Earthquake. And Gen 2 added that really cool thing where Earthquake hits underground. Lovely, lovely thing. I love just the little niche things that Gen 2 added like that. It's just so good. And now we can blast through his Pokemon with Earthquake. Unfortunately, it doesn't kill Machamp, so we're going to use Headbutt and go for the flinch. And there it is! We got the flinch! Just lovely. And so there it is, a perfect Bruno fight as well, because Onix stands no chance of living. Three down, one to go. And Karen is the worst. Fortunately, I have the strats for Karen. This Umbreon is an absolute bitch, but I'm going to take away its main weapon by using the guard spec. Of course, it switches into Confuse Ray. One of the reasons why it's a complete bitch. Gun up X special again. And now we have to heal off that Confusion, which gets healed by a full heal or full restore, one of the HP. And that is why we use the guard spec. Sand attack. No thank you. The first Pokemon on a team of 5? No thank you. Also, I love how it says covered by mist when I use a guard spec. It's so good.
ridiculous. That I totally used mist. But yes, now Karen is quite the joke that I've gotten off that X special, and I managed to kill Umbreon. So guard spec isn't strictly necessary for this fight, but obviously if you manage to get hit by Sand Attack, you can miss anything here, and if you miss anything, it hurts. Like Gengar can use Curse, and Vileplume can use Stun Spore, and Houndoom hits hard with Crunch. And then, even more than that, if you start missing with Surfs, you use exactly 15 Surfs with my PP management, and so if you miss, yeah, obviously you run out of Surfs. And so that guard spec is very, very important to this strategy. Not quite a perfect Karen, because I got confused, but a very good Karen nonetheless. Nonetheless. Even better, I managed to walk out of the fight at full health, so I don't have to heal for Lance. So, that confusion wasn't really that bad. Blessing in disguise. And here it is, Flying type Pokemon Champion. Now, Gyarados has much lower defense than special defense, takes a lot more damage from Headbutt than it does from Ice Punch. Helps when you get a critical as well too. Just out Hyper Beam. Does the most damage of anything it's got, but not that much. That second critical may have been necessary. I'm not sure. It looked very iffy whether it was going to die to a normal headbutt or not. But very happy that I saved a turn there. Plow through these Dragonites with a 4x Ice Punch. Now, unfortunately, his level 50 Dragonite does not always die to an Ice Punch. And the issue is, if you don't one-hit him with Ice Punch, he then uses a Hyper Potion. Oh no, he uses a Full Restore. And so I actually dish out Headbutt first to make sure he'll die in 2, because him using that Full Restore takes forever and ever and ever and ever waiting for that HP bar to go up, and then it's got to go all the way back down when I hit with Ice Punch again. Plus I can just get the flinch with Headbutt if all goes according to plan, but it's just not worth the risk, because you only kill like 40% or so of the time with Ice Punch, and that's even with Perfect. Now, that actually came a lot closer to killing me than I thought it was going to. So in the end, it's actually really lucky I came into this battle with full health. Because I didn't expect Dragonite's Outrage to do quite as much as it did. But there goes my last Surf on his Charizard, and that's the Elite Four done. Champion Lance defeated. Really happy with that Elite Four overall. It was actually really good. At this point, I'm really happy with my run. I got the early Poliwag. My battles have all been really, really fucking good. 5 spinners, which is below average. Out of 14, I would say average here is about 7. Maybe 6. But 5, I think, is the best I've had out of like maybe 50 runs to this point. So I'm very happy with that at this stage. it's time to enter the Hall of Fame. Dance, Poliwag, dance. Sentry looks so cute when it does that. Spearow doesn't. But yes, 237 at the end of Johto. That's the equal best I've ever had. Is a 237 at Johto. So, very, very happy at that stage with my progress. But I know at this point I'm going to need a pretty good Kanto to keep up with the standards that I've put on myself. My goal at this stage is a 327, so I'm hoping for a 50-minute Kanto at this stage. Now, I choose to watch these credits simply because, you know, as a single segment, I'm like, it just doesn't feel quite as fluent to skip these credits. And when they show up at the end of the game, I rush through them by holding B. You can't do that the first time the credits appear. So this gives us a chance to look at this Ditto. Get into it. Look at that Ditto. Look at him go. Also good Pokemon they show in these credits. Also adorable. That dance. God damn it, I wish I could spin for that long. These Igglybuffs must be so dizzy by the end of this. They don't even blink! Holy crap, how are they doing that? That is ridiculous. I would be so dead by this point. Look at that twirl. But okay, back to the run. Straight to Elm's lab. Repel's effect wore off. But yes. Because he gives us the SS ticket. Now if I talk to him again now, he'll actually give me a Master Ball that he was trying to give to me when he gave me a call after the Dragon's Den. But I don't catch anything else, so I have no need for a Master Ball. Now it's time to take the SS Aqua over to Vermilion City. I love this music. I love the Kanto music in general in this game. It's all so fucking good. Yeah, we have to talk to that guy to make this guy appear, and if we don't make this guy appear and fight him, that other guy just kind of blocks our path. So a bit of a detour that we have to take on the ship. Now, what I find the most ironic about the whole SS Aqua thing is that obviously after you beat the Elite Four, you get healed as the game saves and everything, and whatever. When you come off the SS Aqua, you get healed. You have to fight one battle in the SS Aqua. It's this guy. You get healed after this one battle that you got healed before. Ridiculous. Now he realizes it's all his fault, and he runs out. And so now this guy doesn't give a shit about you anymore, and we can walk straight past all these seasick people who... it's amazing how everybody who gets seasick in Pokemon tends to go to the ships. Idiots. But yes, now that we've rescued the girl, the ship arrives at Vermilion. This is where the game gets pretty interesting, because Kanto is really open in Johto, so you have a lot of possibilities here. And pretty much as soon as we land, we make an interesting decision. Now, the first thing we're going to do is actually fly to Vermilion. This avoids the huge underground path you have to take off the ship, and now that we've flown to Vermilion, the gym's below us, and so it's actually slower to go to the gym. So, unlike what you would think is common sense, we do not fight Surge as the first gym. We're going to go all the way to Saffron, and then all the way to Cerulean, and then we're going to go all the way to Route 9, and the first place we're going to go is to the power plant. Kanto battle music, so good. So we obviously have to fight this guy. So PP management is actually quite important through Kanto as well. The issue with it in Kanto versus where we're doing it in the radio tower is there's obviously spinners in Kanto as well. Speaking of which, we're coming up to probably the biggest bitch in the game. Her name's Heidi. So we have to get past her twice, and okay, this is the first time it's happened in the run. She's gotten stuck. She's a spinner, but she's permanently looking in one direction pretty much. So I had to wait for a long ass time to get past her fat ass. And there she goes. So we got past both of her. And now to the power plant. So we obviously have to go here to talk to the manager, which sets the flag for the machine part to appear. To fix the generator to get the EXPN card. It's pretty much the only quest you have to do in Kanto. Other than that, you're just getting 8 badges. And so now that we've done that, we're going to fly to Cerulean. And go off to the gym. And then this guy pretty much admits to stealing the machine part. Now, the machine part is right there in the gym, but we're actually not going to get it right now. The reason we had to activate this cutscene is so that Misty would appear after Nugget Bridge. And so all we've done that for is to set that flag. Now we're going to go to Nugget Bridge and fight Misty, and we're going to get the machine part later on when we're actually inside the gym, so that we don't have to take any extra steps up there. And so pretty much the whole reason we're doing Nugget, like, we bypassed all these gyms is because we want to do Route 9 and Nugget Bridge first, because it's got a bunch of trainers with like level 30s. And we're going to one-hit all of these trainer Pokemon anyway, and it'll give us like 1 or 2 more extra levels before the gym leaders, which can potentially give you extra turns against the gym leaders. And net you some one-hit KOs that you wouldn't get otherwise. In fact, against trainers such as Sabrina, it most certainly does net you one-hit KOs you wouldn't otherwise. So yeah, nothing on Nugget Bridge really poses that much of a threat. This is all just know the right attack to use, so that you don't run out of any PP, because we want to go through Kanto with only using one center as well. And Vaporeon decides to waste my time with Quick Attack as well. Got hit by so many Quick Attacks. It's ridiculous. This girl's got another one of those, just like the Glooms in Rocket Hideout. She's got a Blossom coming up right now that can die to Headbutt, but doesn't always, so we dish out an Ice Punch instead. There's that level 55. It's a shame these trainers are so far below you level-wise. There's just nothing they can do against you. You just dominate them. Now, I don't know about you, but I thought Nugget Bridge in Kanto had 5, not 6. It was 5 and then the rocket. Why does this one have 6? Whatever. Headbutt all these dudes. Avoid that Ice Punch text. And so this would normally be the 6th guy in my name. My name. My mind. He's the evil rocker dude. Except he's really just a super nerd. Who somehow thinks all those level 30s slowed me down. And now we stop an international crisis. That guy better get his fucking hands off my waifu. Yeah, you better run! Get the fuck out of here. And now that we activate Misty, we're gonna delay her even further. And now we fly to Saffron and go west to Celadon, because now with that extra level we got from Nugget Bridge, we're going to be fine against everything that's thrown at us at Celadon. Now, this was just the worst thing ever. I have never seen this Victor Bell not die to headbutt. Ever. Ever seen that Victor Bell not die to headbutt. I managed to flinch, which was really nice, but I didn't even know that couldn't not die. And I've had runs where I've had much, much worse attack at this point, and it's just always died. I didn't even know that was in consideration, but apparently it was. So unlucky on the min-max there. But yeah, you have to fight one of these two girls, and this girl's only got one, so you fight her. I can't remember how many the girl on the right has, but I know it's more than one. I think it's 3. Ice punching Zegito because it's actually got a bit of bulk. Now this Parasect is another one where Headbutt can kill it, but we use Ice Punch because it's only a can, not a will. And now here we go, after like 20 minutes of being in Kanto, it's finally time for Gym Leader. Now get ready for this. Such sexy music. Those tones. This is one of my favorite tracks of all time. It's so fucking good. But yeah, we actually have to upgrade to Ice Punch for Erica, because she's suddenly 15 levels better than everybody else. And because Blossom's got a bit more on it, Ice Punch won't kill, so we move over to Headbutt. I got lucky enough on the first Headbutt that I could throw down another one. If you get unlucky on that first one, on the min-max, another one won't always kill, so you have to switch to Ice Punch, but I did just enough over half that I was fine. But yes, now over to Cycling Road. There's no trainers here at all to bother me in Crystal. But for whatever reason you actually have to fight a trainer here. I mentioned before that Noctowl has an incredible amount of special defense compared to its defense. Ice Punch doesn't actually always kill this guy, despite being like 20 levels lower than you, but Headbutt will always kill him. Easy peasy. Yeah, we kinda go on a gym leader spree at this point. Now that all the tedious stuff is out of the way. We've got as many levels as we can. Now it's time for Janine, the weakest leader by far. But this music is so good. But yes, Janine can do nothing. She doesn't even get a chance to do nothing, really. Actually, no, I lie. There is one thing Janine can do. It's on her very last Pokemon, her Venomoth. But when I say she can actually do something, that doesn't mean I mean she can actually attack. Coming up, this is what she can do. Bloody dire hit. Waste a second of my life using a dire hit on that Venomoth. Whatever. Done with Janine. She's a complete joke. Just all surfs, all dead. But even Janine with like 2 less levels, you won't always kill her Crobat with Surf. You have to Ice Punch it. But with my route, easy peasy. Now off to Cerulean. And now that Misty's actually at the gym, and we're going to go fight her, now we get the machine part. Ends up being just slightly quicker to do it that way. Just slightly. Now Misty unlike a lot of the other gym leaders, has bulky Pokemon, because, you know, water's just a bit more bulky than a lot of the other types. So we actually have to use an X-Attack for her. And throw down some Earthquakes. And now, we just missed out on level 58, so we don't even have a chance to one-hit this Lapras with Earthquake, so we have to go to Headbutt and hope for the flinch, which doesn't happen. Luckily Blizzard misses, because, you know, obviously that Blizzard can actually freeze you, and it's pretty demoralizing when that happens. You don't feel very good about yourself when you get frozen in Kanto. And there's level 58, obviously don't get Hydro Pump, we don't need that. And there goes Starmie. Done with Misty. Good girl. And now with our flashy new machine part, we can go back to the power plant and fix that generator. Oh wait, that's right. That means we've got to pass Heidi again. Oh, that bitch. You've got to get past her 4 times. And she gets me on the 4th fucking pass. I hate this bitch so bad. So bad. Oh, fuck, I hate Heidi. I hate her. Heidi, why? Oh, why? Luckily she's only got 2 Pokemon and they go down real easy, but it's just awful. Just awful. But yes, now we can go to the power plant. And oddly enough, he gives you a TM Zap Cannon, which makes you kind of feel like this was not worth anything, but that was required in the story. It seems a bit odd that a Zap Cannon was the Force TM in this game. It made sense when it was Dig in the first generation of games, because, you know, Dig has the outside effect, but just a bit weird that they forced Zap Cannon on you of all things. So now we take the center here. This is going to be our 1 center for the for all of Kanto. So this is going to be our last center for the run. And now we can go off to this gym. Now this gym is awful because it actually has 2 spinners in it, and you don't see much of them because of the wall panels. But there's one gone. I managed to get past them both. Very nice. They're actually pretty bad because they got like Hypnos and Slowbros, which are pretty bulky as well. Like Slowbro doesn't go down in 1 at all. Now, this was one of the fights that needed to be delayed. If you go in here as soon as you get to Saffron, you can't even get close to a one-hit on Espeon. I mean, even now, because my attack wasn't fabulous, I'm like a 1% chance to one-hit this Espeon. And yeah, I don't get it. And yeah, it's got Sand Attack. I mean, just giving yourself the chance to be able to one-hit this Espeon is great. But if you go in straight away, you don't one-hit this Mr. Mime. And Mr. Mime knows Barrier and Reflect. It's awful if you don't one-hit this Mr. Mime. And of course I miss and get barriered. Disgusting. Disgusting. And Reflect. Disgusting. But that's fine. Because we've got the extra level Surf for one hit this Alakazam. Obviously can't Earthquake because Reflector's up. But yeah, if you go in and you hit Mr. Mime and don't one hit it before it gets off an attack, she'll use a Hyper Potion after it's used Barrier or Reflect. And then you won't even do half damage with Earthquake or Surf, and then you're in a lot of trouble. But yeah, Sabrina down. That fight could have gone much better. 2 Sand Attacks is awful, and missing that Mr. Mime was disgusting. It really hurt. That could have gone much better, but in reality it also could have gone much worse. And now we go off to Lavender, which we obviously wanted to do from Saffron anyway, so doing the gym that late actually works out quite well. And then here's the last spinner of the game, Super Nerd Tom. Managed to get past him, and he's got 3 passes, so that's actually pretty good. He'll more often than not stop you, and he's got 3, so that's very nice. Now we can get the EXPN card. So we only got hit by 1 spinner in Kanto, which is pretty nice. And so now we fly off to Vermilion. And now we do Surge, because we had to go down here after the center anyway. So it's quicker to do Surge now than when I flew here straight away. Now we have to fight 1 trainer in this gym. We fight this guy because he's got the least amount of Pokemon. Only got 2. Now there have been 4 versions of Surge's gym. The red, blue, yellow one, the gold, silver, crystal one, the fire red, leaf green one, and the heart gold, soul silver one. This is the only one out of those 4 where you don't have to look for the switches in the trash. It is the best by far, so far, for that sole reason. So much better. Straight to Surge. Love it, love it, love it. Let's bat. And an advantage of delaying Surge as well is that Surf will kill this Raichu, so we don't have to deal with super effective text from Earthquake, which we would have to use otherwise. And in fact, even with just average special, you won't always kill with Surf. Only used it because I had double 12s at level 6. Unfortunately, we still have to Earthquake this Electabuzz, as it's got a bit more on it. Luckily enough, you still manage to outspeed these electrodes, and they fall easy to a Surf.
And there we have it. That's 5 gym badges of Kanto done. And so now we use a super repel because we're about to enter Diglett's cave. And wake up Snorlax. And so now, with the side quest of waking up Snorlax completed, we can enter the second half of Kanto. Now this is... that guy's called Bugcatcher Ed. I hate him. He's just a normal spinner, he just goes in a circle, but it's the worst circle pattern ever. Like, it's just so bad. It's worse on the second pass. On the first pass, you've just got to wait for him, which sucks enough. But on the second pass, it's disgusting. Because when you wanna... he is going the opposite way to which way you're going, and if you just manage to time it incorrectly when you pass him, and he's looking left, it's just the worst feeling. I have hit him in runs that I've had all the way to this point, and it's just the worst feeling. The worst part is I've hit him more than once. But okay, time for Brock now. Brock is fairly simple as well, because he's got all rock types, and you've got Bloody Surf. The only thing that really can go wrong with Brock is his Omastar knows Protect, which obviously wastes a bunch of time. So pretty much all you're hoping for here is for Omastar to not use Protect. And there we go, he didn't. Perfect. So only 3 battles in the game remain. Getting very close to the end now. Here we go, Brock defeated. $14 badges obtained. Now you'll see what I mean with Ed. Bloody Ed. See, I move all the way to the left, I don't even chance it. You can see he was going to be looking to the left if I tried to pass, and just went straight down. Just the worst. And so now we make our way all the way down to Pallet Town. Of course, skipping all the trainers along the way. Bike over to the left side there so that we spend more tiles on the bike than surfing. Always ideal as the bike is faster. pay Blue here a visit so that he gets his fucking ass back to the gym. And obviously have to go to Seafoam to fight Blaine because Cinnabar's just dead. So yeah, there was a spinner there as well that I just completely dodged. Don't even give him a chance to get me. It would be faster if you managed to dodge him to just go straight through, but that's not even close to worth the risk. Enjoy this music while it lasts, folks. This battle is pretty quick. Again, not much challenge in that fight. Can't expect much when he's a bloody fire type leader. One more badge to go. Now it's time to fly to Viridian and get that very last badge. So if Viridian had actually kept its original typing in ground, the last three gym leaders would be rock, fire and ground, all of which would be weak to water. Incredible. Okay, now Blue's actually a bit trickier than the other guys because he's suddenly 15 levels up and he matches your level now. So we've actually got to use some items for him. We take one of each because we're going to be using different attacks, and he's got a decent enough spread that he forces us to use different attacks. Ice Punch on Pidgeot does just more than Surf and just does enough to get the kill. Now, unfortunately, if you were watching there, my speed is 132. Very, very shitty number at this point. Because it just so happens that this Alakazam has 133 speed. So because he's faster than me, I actually use Surf instead of Earthquake because he knows Reflect. He doesn't use it though, so just dish out the Surf, watch him die. Good thing he didn't use Reflect though, because out comes Gyarados. We're gonna dish out some headbutts, because Ice Punch doesn't even 3-hit this guy. Or it does, but it just. And Headbutt 2 hits him, and it can flinch. Yay! And if you use Ice Punch, Blue's likely to pull out full restores as well. And now the last two fall quite easily to Surf. Okay, so that battle actually went pretty well. Getting the flinch on Gyarados, real nice. No threat of dying at all. And there's level 62. And our speed goes up to 135, which means it was obviously a high 132 as well. But that's alright, because Red just so happens to have a Pokemon that has 133 speed as well. So it's nice that we did get over that benchmark at 62. And there we have it. That's all I was going to say 116. All 16 gym badges acquired. Now we'll have to fly to Professor Oak to see what he thinks. Because there's nothing better than a Gloater. And Oak's final conclusion, of course, is look for Pokemon in grassy areas. Thanks, Oak. But more importantly, the telepathic message to open up Mount Silver appears, which allows us to do the very final fight of this game. One of the things I really love about this game, not from a speedrunning perspective, but as a watching the speedrun perspective, is that the final fight is the hardest fight. It obviously makes the game a bit of a bitch to run, but it's at least very climactic. Now, at this point I'm actually really nervous, because this is the best run I've ever had by far to this point. And we've got to do this cave in the dark. And pitch black dark. So I've obviously got this cave memorized. Oh, see, use the full restore on Kenya. This is nerves settling in here. But yeah, I didn't heal before this fight, so I've got to heal my health. And just go in with the PP that I've got. Luckily only the first floor is in the dark, so now we're good. Now this fight is a complete and utter bitch. First up is a level, after being over leveled for like the whole game, suddenly we're 15 levels below all of this guy's Pokemon, and he's got 6. First up comes Pikachu. It has Thunder, which does about 80% of your damage and can paralyze, and it has Charm, which reduces your attack by 2 levels. He uses Thunder and misses. Perfect. Now out comes Venusaur, the Pokemon I was talking about before with 133 speed. Now, Ice Punch is obviously your most effective move on this Venusaur. What you hope to happen, and is very unlikely, 10% chance, is that when you use Ice Punch, Venusaur manages to freeze. Oh boy! And now that it's frozen, I can use these 3x attacks and 1x speed that I've got up my hand. If you don't freeze this Venusaur, it one-hits you with Solar Beam. And there's just nothing you can do, it'll just one-hit you. And you have to keep reviving your Feraligatr, hoping to freeze it. You get 2 chances to freeze it. On the 3rd time, you'll kill it. After you kill Venusaur, you then have to hope you can kill Espeon. And if you manage to get through Espeon, you then have to set up on Snorlax, who is constantly throwing out body slams, but just manages to do less than half. Pretty much, that freeze on Venusaur right there saved me well over 3 minutes, closer to 4 minutes. That 10% freeze. Huge time gain. And an enormously big reason why this run is so good. Now I dish out Headbutts here, again, because I can't one-hit with Earthquake and just hope for a flinch. Flinch! Yeah, it's a massive reason why I will not run this game again and try and beat this run, because even if I manage to have perfect luck and just hit like no spinners, if I don't get this kind of luck in the very last fight of an over 3-hour run, I wouldn't be able to compete with this time. It was just such a hugely, amazingly perfect fight. Another flinch on Blastoise. It's just amazing how well this fight went. It was just so bloody good. And at the end of a 3.5 hour single segment run, it's just incredible how the stars seem to align for this fight. Unfortunately, Charizard actually manages to get a hit in, but at this point it really doesn't matter. We can hit him again, and there we go. Game over. Well done, guys. GG. So now we blast through these credits, because we don't get a save screen like before. So what we've got to do to get our final time is to save right here and see what our time is. 3 hours and 24 minutes. Considering my aim was 3:27, I am over the moon with 3:24. So happy with this time. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I had a lot of fun making this run. I hope you had a lot of fun watching it. And I hope you guys will stay tuned, because I'm sure there's more Pokemon speedruns down the track from me. Alright, peace out, guys.